Well, hello, hello. This is Megan here with Core3 Harmony and Wellness Services. Happy Saturday to everyone that might be watching this at some point on Saturday. I am excited because I took a little time out since my last live stream to try to figure everything out since things have changed a little bit with some YouTube settings. First and foremost, thank you so much for taking time out to spend a little bit of time with me today. I would like to say thank you, and I appreciate everyone's time. I won't keep you long. My plan in the future is to actually start doing some regular live streams on Saturdays for no more than 30 minutes or less. We will feature some key topics and some upcoming events that I hope to be doing in the near future soon here. As our weather gets better, and as people start to feel more comfortable interacting and getting out and doing things within groups again. I'm going to share my screen a little bit in a moment just to reference some information from the website. The last live stream I did, I wanted to share information on the website specifically about the support groups, and I just wasn't able to get things flowing to be able to do that. So I do want to do a live stream on specifically some of the support groups that we will be getting ready to host in the near future, and just to provide some information on those groups specifically. A little bit of information about how I like to kind of perceive like your therapeutic journey. Depending on the severity of maybe some of the challenges that you are dealing with, the frequency of your therapy sessions can vary. That is whether you are in need of weekly sessions, bi-weekly sessions, or you have participated in counseling and therapy before and finding that you need someone to touch base with, not as often, but needing to know you have a regular go-to person to check in with. And at that point, most often that would be a monthly visit, and it's a check-in on how you are doing mentally, emotionally, and physically with all of the various things going on in your life. And it's very helpful because I think for many of us, we really need someone to help us redirect us, turn us around when we start like, going in the reverse and repeating some things that it's like not so great habits. And also helping us to be accountable to things that we are working on and trying to improve. So I am trying to also keep an eye out on the chat room just in case anyone happens to pop in there. I'm going to say something because I don't think since I've started this, I've ever had anyone in the chat room. All right. Just gives me some practice just to make sure I'm able to kind of multitask everything with all the various screens open. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go to the website now. So I'm going to get ready to set up my screen share. Let me make sure I've got stuff open that I need to. Okay. Okay. All right. So all right, here we are. Give me a second, a sip of coffee here. I'm going to peruse over here to services. And here you have the drop down where you have some information about music therapy, counseling, and our support groups. So under the support groups, I'm going to go ahead and click there. I'm going to be adjusting some things fairly soon and making some updates on start times and dates. So we have a DBT skills support group. This is a wonderful group, especially for those who have been in individual therapy and their therapists utilize the DBT approach, dialectical behavioral therapy. This particular approach encompasses two pillars, dual pillars, where the real impact of this approach comes upon one, having that individual one-on-one session with your therapist, and two, having that collective group therapy approach where you are able to discuss and really practice those skills that you are learning within that particular approach. And DBT is a great approach I inform people to have. And many times therapists may incorporate some DBT skills within your therapy session, because DBT is a great approach when you are dealing with challenges and issues in regards to emotional and mood stabilization and regulation. Sometimes my tongue gets tied up. Okay. And then we have the well. This is particularly, almost in a sense, I should say it's a closed private group. It's specifically for those who are currently clients of mine in Core3. And I wanted to provide a space where I would say much of my approach and my style is reflected within this particular group. So it's kind of like our little bubble of things that I encourage and that we discuss with various situations that people may find themselves in. So that is the well. And when I start doing regular live streams starting in March, would like to start doing that in March, I'm going to go in a little bit more depth into each one of these areas here to help break it down. The chronic pain support group, this is a group that Jasmine will be leading, and she in particular has some personal experience in this area. And so I am encouraging her to kind of expand and broaden her horizons, and her abilities and her experiences, and her knowledge, and encouraging her to establish her own group. And this is one that she really felt was where she wanted to start. So more information about this group will be coming up in the near future, but we know that there are many of you out there that are dealing with chronic pain. And the moments when I have had pain myself, I just think how in awe I am of those of you who deal with it constantly, and how much that really does impact your mental health and your well-being when your body is just in pain and not feeling good. And it is truly a challenge. So um, I am very proud of Jasmine for wanting to start this group, and I'm looking forward to being able to offer this as well to clients, as far as those interested. Okay, so that's the support groups. Really quickly, over here, I want to go to resources, and particularly music therapy TED Talks, okay? So we'll click there. So one of the questions I always get is, what is music therapy? Um, and that's fine. I don't mind answering it. And really, I add my own personal take on it from the experiences I've had as a music therapist. But there's quite a bit of information here that really helps to fill in what music therapy is, how it is utilized, and what a music therapist does. So this is what's the word I want to say? Uh, Not an exhaustive list, or videos of um, TED Talks of music therapy. I know that there are many more out there. These are just a few of the ones that I have watched, and I thought, oh, this would be a great thing to be able to share on the website for providing more information. So this is a great place you can go. I want to say most of them are probably like 15 minutes or less. And I do have the times on there, so you can see how long each video is. So if you're like, I'm not trying to take time to watch like, a 12-minute TED Talk or whatever it is, you kind of know it ahead of time in the description. Right here, I wanted to say, I'm going to stop right here. I had the opportunity to meet Dr. Lane, Dr. DeForia Lane. Oh my goodness, I want to say I was a sophomore, my undergrad. We were at the National Music Therapy Conference in Cleveland, Ohio. Oh my goodness, it was bitter, freezing cold. Uh, and it was in November, so coming from California, I like to have froze. But I had a wonderful opportunity of meeting her, and I want to kind of stop here and mention this also in honor of, I know we're honoring and celebrating Black History Month this month for February. And I have her book. I wonder if she signed it for me. I have to find it. I have probably more books than I need. I have to find it. I have her book. She signed it for me. And she said, "Tell me something about you." And I said, I mentioned something about being just a student. And she just paused and she looked at me with in all genuine sincerity, and she said, "You're not just a student." And in that moment, because at the time when I was going to school to become a music therapist, many around me were like, "What you doing? What, like, we get music education and we get performance, but what is this therapy thing?" So for me, especially my early young undergrad years, there was this uncertainty of really what I was doing, um, because many around me had not one heard of it and was not sure um, how one would go about doing or being a music therapist. And in that moment that shared with her, and she signed her book and signed my book. And we had a few other words and then moved on. So there were quite a few people there at the conference that was wanting to meet her, and she had just released her book and wanted to get her signature. In that moment, though it may have not have been as huge of a moment to her as it was to me, I thought, you know, I was in awe of looking at this young woman uh, who looked like me, who was very substantiated and really represented what a music therapy is and what a music therapist does. It left a very strong impression on me that though at the time I was uncertain of many aspects of how I would go about doing and growing into this profession and into my own perspective on I am a music therapist. She instilled a little hope in me in saying back, you are more than just a student. You're not just a student. So um, I really enjoyed meeting her. She just represented at the time, and this was, gosh, some years ago. I can't believe I've been, uh, it was like 20 plus years ago. I was in my undergrad studies. It just seems the kind of like, it doesn't seem real when I look at the time frame. But how amazing it has been to be in this profession and to see the growth and the evolvement of music therapy that I'm sure many of us at that time were not aware of where it would be and what it would become today. So I wanted to pause there for a moment and just acknowledge that. Okay, we have a few other videos of other music therapists from different parts, mostly from the United States. There are, and I want you to know too that coming up, and I'll be speaking more about this next weekend. Coming up on March 1st is um, World Music Therapy Day. I do not know how or why that specific day was picked. I'll be sharing more about that with you later. Um, but I want to acknowledge that music therapy is not just a thing here in the States or in the United States. It is an international profession. And what's really unique and how I've kind of guided and directed my doctoral studies is taking a look at different aspects of how music therapy is taught and what's being done on an international level. Because sometimes I feel like we can get, or particularly me, I can get so heavily like bogged down by like the Western viewpoint that I forget that this is a profession that is not only studied but practiced in many different parts of the world. So it's really cool to start to read and hear and see what other therapists are doing in different countries and in different languages and with different groups of people. It's really fascinating. So here are just a few others, and you can feel free to peruse and watch some of these at your leisure. And again, I have put the time frames of each video in the description so that you know. All right. And last but not least, here I have the TED Talk that Judith Pinkerton did. She is the Music for Life founder, and she's the one with whom I've been studying with for the music medicine clinical specialist program. So you will be hearing more from me about that in the near future as well, on how to help to make music work for you prescriptively, utilizing it to balance and regulate your mood and emotions. And there's an art and a science behind that. So I'm looking forward to being able to utilize that and to help clients with that as well. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And here I am. So let me check the chat because got various things going on here. Okay. No one in the chat, so just checking. Let me go back. And I'll chit chat a little bit and then I'll draw it to a close because I'm not trying to make these very long. So starting in March, it's my plan to do a regular live streams. I always want to say screen. Don't know why. Regular live streams on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to try to keep them short, sweet, and to the point. So 30 minutes or less. And we'll feature different topics and different themes. I'm one of those people that I like to have a plan. I don't quite have that yet, but I will, so that the time that's utilized that you are choosing to engage with me is tight and concise. And I'm not sitting there thinking about what needs to be done or what needs to be said next. So I'll start developing a plan for that. Our operations manager, just wanted to fill you in, Jasmine, and she's going to be on a leave of absence for a while. So anyone interested in information, consultations, appointments, schedule changes, rescheduling appointments, cancellations, you feel free to reach out to me directly. And you can email me or you can call me or leave a text message there on the numbers or on the website. Bear with me. I'm going to try to make sure I'm getting back to people within 24 hours. If I do not, please bear with me as I'm juggling a few different things. And I'm not ignoring you or not trying to get back to people, but I'm just trying to touch base with folks. I encourage people to definitely pick up the opportunity to get a consultation. It's really important to get a good understanding of the person that you'll be working with, which is me right now. And it's important that I get a good understanding as to what you're dealing with and what's going on with you to make sure my approaches, to make sure that everything is a good match for your needs and the support that you're getting. I also want to share, because I've had this come up before. I am not a licensed therapist. I am a board certified music therapist. Within the state of California, which is where I reside, music therapists are not required to be licensed. We just received a few years ago our state recognition for and within the profession, stating that no one can utilize the title of music therapist unless they are a board certified music therapist. A board certified therapist and a licensed therapist to me, I was thinking about it earlier, it's like saying potato, patata, tomato, tomata. Now, there are states within the United States that require music therapists to be licensed. Right now, the way things are laid out is that each state can take up the jurisdiction as to whether that particular creative arts therapist is required to be licensed. Believe you me, I really feel like it would make things a lot simpler and easier if there was just a flat across the board licensure for all of us. I continue to have hopes that one day things will be a little bit more simplified in that manner. But as we're going right now, from what I understand is that our certification board is leaving it up on the judgment and the jurisdiction of each state to decide to make that call, whether they are requiring the specific therapist to be licensed or not. Believe me, our board certification is nothing to take lightly. I continue to accrue my educational hours and times throughout a certain time frame that's required by the board. And I am also currently in school myself. So I would say within the past 10, 20 years now, the field of mental health and the various therapies have expanded and broadened so much. I don't know how you cannot continue your education and just to keep up with the current things we're learning as we learn more about our bodies and how our brain works. I don't know how you cannot. And I'm learning that really because we're getting information and things are changing so rapidly, so quickly. Gosh, almost every 5 to 7 for sure by 10 years, you're needing to refresh and brush up and educate yourself on information that has derived, that has come out. So anyone in the helping professions, specifically in therapy and even going on to the medical model, you're constantly learning about what approaches, what modalities, what interventions are improving that can help with so many different areas and facets of challenges and issues that people are dealing with. So I just want to let you know that from the get-go. I do not believe that in any way impairs my ability to assist and help someone that is in need or having mental health crises or issues or problems. Hence, this is why I'm like still in school and learning. And I know even once I am completed with my doctoral program, there will still be more courses, more seminars, more classes I'm going to be taking so that I can stay right on the cutting edge of things that are coming out, things that we're learning that is helpful, things that we can try to help enhance the approaches that we are doing to help people live better, do better, and be better. So sometimes people ask that, or they're a little bit confused by that. So I'm looking forward to spending more time for you getting to know me a little bit better. for us to kind of hone in on some specific topics and things coming up. I'm looking forward to sharing even more with you next week about music therapy in particular. And just that helping you learn a little bit more about different approaches and different styles, what's used, how it's used. Because I think therapy really livens itself up when we implement different things to make it fun, to interact with what we're learning about ourselves and others in a whole different facet and arena, and mixing it up with different modalities and moving beyond just talking about things. It's like, let's jam, let's play, let's write about it. Can we express that in an artistic way? And so it's really important to do that as much as we can. I envision hopefully my practice building where I will have, those different dynamics of the creative arts complementing all of the services, having that art therapist and that movement therapist. And I feel like, I know there's a lot of us out there in the creative arts. Sometimes I feel like we are little individually kind of just separated, spread up and spread apart. It's my goal and vision to like develop a nice group practice of all of the flavors, all of the colors coming together, and helping people learn how to do better and be better for themselves and for others around them. So, okay, we're getting close to that 30-minute time frame I had set. I appreciate you. Any questions that you may have, please feel free to email me or reach out via phone and let me know. We have links below if there's anyone that would like to or willing to donate. Everything we're doing costs something. So as we can and as much as anyone is willing to contribute, we would so gratefully appreciate. And I thank you so much for your time. I am looking forward to spending a little bit of time with you on the Saturdays coming up. So have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Take out some time to love on yourself, have some self-compassion, do some self-care, take some time out to just focus a little bit on you, to recharge yourself before the week starts again. And can you believe that February is moving right along fairly quickly? So I will see you again next time. It will be, let me look at the date. Wow. March 6th. Wow, March 6th. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I am sending nothing but gotta do this. Oh yeah, revving up all that good energy from my heart to yours. I'm sending nothing but good vibes your way. Take care of yourself, and I